this video, I'm going to share with you a simple habit that could change your life. If you want to find out what that habit is, stick with me till the end of this video. I will explain it with a story. 3 people hated their job badly and they needed higher pay. They really didn't like their job at all. The first person worked really hard. He worked and worked. He hoped that, one day his boss would just notice his hard work. He never asked for a raise. He just kept working. Just kept praying that, the situation will get better. His boss would just magically notice that this guy is working hard and give him a raise. But it never happened. His boss never gave him a raise. The second person wasn't happy with his job either. He worked really hard. The pay wasn't just enough. So when he felt he had worked hard enough, he went to work, met his boss and asked him for a raise. But his boss didn't grant it. So he kept working. Then he asked his boss again for a raise. His boss didn't grant it. Then he just got fed up and just quit the job. He went in search for another job. He eventually found another job. The job even had a higher pay. So he did work and he was happy. But after a while, his financial life started struggling again. So he worked and he asked his boss for a raise. And his boss didn't grant it. Then he asked his boss again for a raise. The boss wouldn't stick, and then he just got fed up. I just started criticizing his financial life. It was because of his boss that he's poor, because of his boss is broke, criticizing, complaining, blaming everybody. So he eventually left that job again. He searched for another one. He then found another higher paying job again. He kept working. Then not long ago, his financial life started struggling again. He kept asking for a raise after raise. His boss wouldn't grant him. Kept complaining, keep blaming his boss. Blaming everybody, especially his boss. His boss is the reason for his misfortune. So eventually he quit the job and went to search for another one. He started continued on. And the third person, he too was broke and he hated his job, but he knew complaining wouldn't do anything. He asked his boss for a raise, but his boss didn't grant it either. So instead of quitting the job and going to search for another, he then had an idea. Because he knew that if he went to search for another job, the other job, after a while, his financial life would be struggling. So instead of going and blaming and looking for another job, then sat himself down, analyzed the situation. Then instead, he went and researched, how to start a business, how to make money on time, how to save money, all that stuff. So eventually, after he had gained a lot of knowledge and understood all the principles and everything, he started his business, and his business failed badly. So first year it failed, second year, third year, fourth year, 5 years, business, they just kept failing. He even wanted to give up. He didn't just want to quit again. He just wanted to look for another, but he just kept trying. Eventually the 6th year, the business took off and he was really happy. Not long from then, the business covered. He didn't need to go get a job again. The business was successful. He became very happy, got a lot of money, traveled around the world, became very happy and rich, and lived happily ever after. While he was busy traveling around the world and being like the boss and CEO of his company, the other 2 were still busy working. The first one was busy working, still at that same job, hoping that one day his boss would magically give him more extra pay, while the other one was still going from job after job, blaming all the bosses in the country and his town, saying that the reason why he's broke. And even the whole country itself, just condemned the whole place, kept criticizing, while the third one was busy making money and living the life he wanted. So what can we learn from this story? This concept, I actually found it in Rich Dad Poor Dad, when Robert Kiyosaki was working for his best friend's dad, and his best friend's dad was paying him, I think, about 10 cents, a very low pay, and he had to give up his weekend and his games. That time he was still a little boy. He had to give up his weekend and games for this stuff. What that place was talking about is that you have to change your point of view. Stop seeing situations or people or circumstances as a problem. You have to change your perspective. If you think they are the problem, you have to change them. If you think you are the problem, you have to change. For example, if you are poor or broke and you are not making enough money, you are not happy with your financial life, just like the story above, instead of just sitting down and just praying that one day the government will just magically become better, or going to start blaming everybody, because you are actually right. If the government, if they took their jobs more seriously, you definitely will be richer. So they are part of the problem why you are broke or poor. but in this point, they are not taking their job seriously. So you are still broke. But instead of sitting down and waiting for them to start taking their job seriously, which they might never do, you could just stand up and by yourself go and start a business or do something that will bring in more income for you and make you happy. This habit doesn't only apply in finances or business or other stuff. For example, if someone insults you, instead of going back and insulting them and trying to make them feel bad about themselves, or instead of you to sit down and feeling dejected or insulted and start feeling depressed, instead you can analyze the situation and notice that they are not the problem. Because if you think they are the problem, you have to change them. But if you think you are the problem, you have to change you. So that means if they insult you, if you think they are the problem, you have to stop them from insulting you, which you technically might not be able to do, because no matter how much you talk, it still depends on them. They will still therefore insult you. But if you think you are the problem, instead of feeling insulted or trying to insult them back, you can just leave them alone and do something better with your life. Use that time and energy to read a book or do something that will make you a better person. Not by any means trying to say that all this is easy and just like this is just like it's very hard, but if you can do these habits, it's really help you and it will change your life. You have to change your perspective. This is what Robert Kiyosaki wrote in his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, a portion of it. Life pushes all of us around. Some people give up and others fight. Few learn the lessons and move on. They welcome life pushing them around. To these few, it means they need and want to learn something. They learn and move on. Most quit, and if you fight. You best change your point of view. Stop blaming me and thinking I'm the problem. If you think I'm the problem, then you have to change me. If you realize that you are the problem, then you can change yourself, learn something and grow wise. Most people want everyone else in the world to change but themselves. Let me tell you, it's a lot easier to change yourself than to change everyone else. And that is very, very true. So, the one habit that will change your life is to change your perspective. Stop thinking other people are the problem or circumstances are the problem. If you think they are the problem, you have to change them. But if you realize you are the problem, you have to change you. And it's a lot easier to change you than to change. If you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad already, I highly recommend it. It's very good. It initially talks about financial intelligence and all that stuff, but it still has some key lessons we all need. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. This is Cowboy University. See you in the next one.